Hey guys, it's Joe from Collective Evolution. Wanted to share a quick video here about how to talk to your friends and family about what it is you believe in or things that you're passionate about. I think this breaks down into two categories. There's kind of like issues that might be controversial in the world that when you talk to people about them, they sort of think that you're some conspiracy theorist or something like that. But then there's also, say you have some more spiritual beliefs or something along those lines where you feel maybe that there's oneness within the world or that we're all intimately connected on some level. And talking about those things on a public issue with like your friends or with your family might come across a little like they think you're a hippie or they think you're some spiritual person that's off in the clouds. So the key to this video is sort of how to go about talking about those things with people that are close to you without coming across as either of those categories, because to a degree, we are responsible for some of their perceptions if we're using certain techniques that might end up making us look that way. So I'm going to kind of use like some stuff that I've learned along the way and some stuff that I've seen. I mean, when Collective Evolution was first getting started, I was excited about a lot of different issues. And this was like 5 or 6 years ago now. So I was younger. I was just starting to really like open up to a lot of different things. And as I'm discovering, I'm starting to see like, whoa, like I need to share this stuff. I need to get this stuff out there. And when I would talk to my friends and family, sometimes you'd come across like, you're too excited. You're like trying to spit everything. Like, I just learned this crazy thing and I need everybody to know it. And I don't even know all my facts, but I'm just going to say it. And like, this person said that we're enslaved and this person said that, you know, the government's trying to do this to us. And you just say all these things and like, it comes across as if we're a crazy conspiracy nut, because it almost seems to people on the outside that we don't really know what we're talking about. And because we're getting into ideas that are very different from the mainstream, it's easy for people to be like, yeah, there's something not quite right here. Now, does it mean there's something not quite right with you? No, absolutely not. That is not what this is about. What this is about is just learning more about ourselves and more about how we communicate with other people so that we can more effectively share ideas that are very real, that are very important for people to know. Because the reality is we can get caught up in ideas of trying to really just push stuff onto people like crazy, and it's not actually helping them or helping the overall forward progression of this movement or this information when it's coming across in a manner that isn't easy to digest. So first thing that I think is important is really looking at why are you doing it? Why are you sharing what you're sharing when you're talking with your friends or your family about something? So this is key, because when you are in a situation and let's say someone brings up something about their job or something about the economy or politics or something like that, and suddenly you feel like you need to jump on it. Why? Why do you feel like you need to jump on it? That's a key thing to understand. So this is more of a self-reflective thing. Understanding why you're jumping on it, because if it's coming from a place of you need to prove yourself or you need to prove things to other people or you really want to convince them, you want them to see that they're wrong, or you know there's some sort of like, you know, you're not thinking about it right, I got to show you the right answer. If you're coming across in that manner, that's going to emanate out to them and they're going to feel that. It's going to change the tone of your voice, it's going to change your body language, it's going to change everything about how you're presenting it. And people are going to notice that, and then they're going to kind of close off to it. So instead, when you understand what your why is, and you can sort of work your why down to being simply, when you're inspired, that you just want to share it from a place of just within you. You're passionate about it, you love it, you want to share it, and you'll notice that in those cases, you won't be yelling, you won't be offensive, you won't get defensive. It'll just come across in a manner where people are very receptive to it. And a lot of times it'll surprise you, because you'll share something and you're thinking the whole time that this person is going to flip out at you or think you're crazy. And next thing you know, everything's all good. And they're like, wow, that was really cool. Thanks for sharing that with me. You know, like that was awesome. So remember that. Understand your why, know what it is, and try and keep that under wraps. Allow it to just come from your heart. Now, the next thing is when people are coming at you, like, so let's say you say something, and again, you're saying it in a nice, calm manner. Even if they do it, or even if they come at you and they're aggressive about it, don't take it personally. Because as soon as you take it personally, you're going to start to get defensive. And as soon as you start to get defensive, it'll come across now like in a manner of like, whoa, like this person is really aggressive about this stuff, and it's not just like something they believe in, they're making it a part of themselves, and now it's like something really intense. Just don't take it personally, because the reality is where someone might be at with something or what they believe in or anything of that nature is exactly where they are at that point. And a lot of times if they disagree with you, it's not about you. It's about, what they maybe have going on within themselves, or they're just not open or willing to believe in some of the stuff that you're sharing or even explore some of the stuff that you're sharing. So remember, like, it's not about convincing them. It goes back to that same idea. You're not trying to convince people. So in a sense, for wherever they're at, whatever they believe, no matter how perfectly you explain it, sometimes people that's just where they're at, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean you're right or they're wrong or anything like that. You have to respect that entire aspect of communication between people. So next one is staying calm and collected when you're sharing it. So again, all these techniques that we're going over is not so that you can better convince people of things. It's simply so that you can share your message from a place that, instead of having all this stuff on top of what you're passionate about, that is like misconstruing and not allowing like your true self to come through, we're taking all that away and we're just showing the true self here. So when we're saying calm and collected, it just basically means that we're not allowing the other stuff to get in the way, the defensiveness, the aggressiveness, the trying to prove to them something, or we're trying to make them really see something. We're allowing ourselves to be passionate in a manner that's very presentable. You're not holding back. It's not about like holding back on something, because a lot of times what happens is we associate sometimes passion with yelling, or passion with being aggressive, or passion with like swearing and doing all these sorts of things, but that's not necessarily the case. I believe everybody expresses passion slightly differently, but you can feel when someone's coming from their passion versus when they're starting to get really caught up in the emotions, which are triggered by various different things going on within the ego, all that sort of stuff. And I'm not talking about emotions in terms of feelings, that's different. I'm talking about like aggressive emotions, like things that, they're just getting the better of you. So staying calm in the entire thing is a sign of you're allowing yourself to not get engaged in all the defensiveness and all the doubt within yourself, or the trying to prove things or anything like that. It's just allowing yourself to just come across in a clean manner. So look at some of your interactions and reflect on it. Hey, did I come across? Why did I feel like I came across like that? Try and understand it a little bit, and that'll help you. The next time, go out there in just a more open manner. So the next thing is being well researched or well educated on what you're talking about. So why this is important is because a lot of times what will happen is we'll share something as if it's like a fact, and yet we don't even know how to back up that fact, or we don't know how to like say, yeah, here's the rest of the story so that you can understand it, or you can go home and research it yourself, or whatever the case may be. And especially when it comes to like health related things or like deeper issues that are pretty big in the world that you want to share like the truth of, or another angle about it, then you really want to know what you're talking about. So if you do bring up an issue, because obviously every particular thing you're not going to know the answers to, that's not what this is about. But if you do bring something up and you start getting into the conversation and you don't know the full facts behind it, just be open about it. Hey, I don't know everything about that particular thing, but we could look it up, we could talk about it more, we could explore it together. Here's some information that you can go check out. Maybe go to collectiveevolution.com, check it out. No, I'm just kidding. But point I'm trying to make is that you can share this information and you can get it out there in a way that is clear for people. And you don't need to know all the facts, but you can guide people in the right directions. Just don't pretend, or don't try and come across as if you know everything and that everything is a fact, when that may not be the case, because you get into some sticky situations. And finally, and this is probably one of the most important things, is don't separate you from them or from anybody in the world. The moment we start saying, I'm a truther, or I'm awake and you're asleep and you're a sheep and you're this, that, whatever it might be, in any case, even if like, I'm part of this religion, you're part of this religion, and we have all these separations. When we start to do that, we start to lose sight of how truly we're all like one another, and we're all the same inside. And we also have difficulty with communication at that point. So when it comes to sharing what it is that you want to share, Don't look at somebody else as if they don't know yet and you need to save them, or they don't know yet and they're asleep and you're better than them because of that, and like, oh, you judge people easily because they're doing that and like you wouldn't do that and you know better, or they're talking about how the economy is this, that, and whatever, but you may see it as something entirely different, or a political issue is entirely different. Don't see them as different than you, because the reality is there was probably one point in your life where you may not have been as well informed as you are now. And so someone may have looked at you in that manner and you probably wouldn't have liked it. Or at the same time, you look at that and it's like, is that even the best way to go about things? To see like, well, this person doesn't know enough, so they're not equal to us or anything of that nature. You don't want to get into that habit. So remember to look out for that. Just look out for you separating yourself or seeing others as different from you. Going to, I guess, like the more like spiritual side, or let's say you have beliefs or some of the more like fringe ideas, like even believing in UFOs or something like that. Like, these are fringe ideas to some people, to other people they're not. But the reality is sometimes you want to talk about those things. You do want to have open conversations about things that you're passionate about. Don't be afraid to share it. So if you're in a social situation where you are like, oh, I don't know if I want to share this, that, whatever, and you're starting to freak out about it, just chill, be yourself. Let yourself come across just as you. If you don't know all the answers, you don't know all the facts, you can still talk about it, but just in a manner that is just, loosely play with it. Play with ideas. Ask people how they feel about something. What are their thoughts? What are their ideas? Get into a back and forth conversation about it, and don't feel like you're incapable of bringing up some of these things, because the reality is a lot of people will surprise you. There's a ton of people out there who won't post anything on social media, who won't bring anything up or won't talk about it openly until you kind of get them in a situation where suddenly they're like, yeah, for a long time I've been feeling this, or I've been believing in this, or whatever it might be. And they don't know how to express it. They don't know where to express it or who to talk to. So the more you can kind of just openly put yourself out there when the time is right, and when you follow a lot of the stuff that we just kind of talked about, the more you'll be able to open up to people and make some awesome connections and communicate well as people, whether it's with your friends, your families, coworkers, whatever it might be. You want to be able to come across in a manner that's just respectful to everybody while sharing some very important information. So anyway, I hope these helped. And feel free to join in the comments below, talk about maybe what stories or things that you learned along the way when you were sharing various things. Having that community is awesome for a lot of people. They feel the support. So feel free to do that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We got a lot of great videos coming out and some important stuff. So we'd love to have you around. You get notifications. And please stay tuned for more, because we got some good stuff coming up.